Hello, everybody. Today I will be speaking especially about central finance. And central finance is a stepping stone, but it is interesting to understand how it works. So basically the topic will be focused on the overall architecture and integration of CFIN. So before I go to CFIN, I will also like to speak about myself. So as a part of my introduction, I'm Nitin Gupta, and I have experience of 15 years in SAP deployments and SAP projects of various size and shape in various geographies. And I have been working on central finance from pretty long time now in S/4HANA space. And if you see on SAP community, SAP blogs, you will see almost 50 plus blogs only on central finance. And I have a YouTube channel, you will see 100 plus videos. So, and I have been involved in value prototyping, value discovery workshops, and process management as well. So, if we go to central finance, as a summary, everybody knows S/4HANA, and my colleague Dani just explained what S/4HANA 1909 is. And S4 central finance is a component of S/4HANA, but it is a stepping stone. It's an easy way to jump to S/4HANA because currently most of the organizations are on ECC or on different ERPs and they want to migrate to S/4HANA. So there are different options, different ways, but central finance is a simple and a non-disruptive way. So the example which you see on the screen is uh, you are operating on ECC, you are doing your finance, you are running your business, but at the same time, if you see now, you have to move to S/4HANA, then what is the middle stage? Then S/4HANA says, or SAP methodology says in multiple ERP cases, you implement central finance and you keep on operating in your ECC systems, implement an installation of S/4HANA, activate central finance, and start replicating your accounting document from ECC to S4. And if you see the picture now it makes more clear. So it says you keep operating in ECC, start data replication into S4HANA, transform your finance first, you start reporting in S4HANA, you start your financial transactions in S4HANA, and make your financial system of records as S4HANA. So now your half of the business is already transferred. Your accounting, your payments, all those areas are transferred. Reporting, which on top of that, you can implement analytics cloud and then also group reporting on top of central finance. And then in the meanwhile, you plan to implement your logistics processes so that by the end of ECC life, which is currently planned 2027, your S4HANA will be up and running, ready to use, and it will be a phased approach to sunset ECC. And then you can implement S/4HANA logistics processes and other processes which are fit for the business, and then you sunset your ECC system. Benefits, of course, as I said, it's non-disruptive because you are not switching off your ECC system. At the same time, you are bringing your S/4HANA system. Process standardization. In case you have multiple ECCs, I have seen with organizations with multiple ECC systems, there you can standardize your process. Do your payment in this way, you have multiple bank integrations connected to different systems, and it's the nature of the business because each mergers and acquisitions you have done, each strategy change you have done in the past are now as a debt. You have several systems, ECC or non-SAP, doesn't matter, but most of the organizations have several ERP systems. But now, of course, some are running out of maintenance, some are more technical depth on the organization, and then of course you have to get rid. So you can standardize your process. You can simply implement the best processes based on current future strategy, based on current market best practices. Simplify your reporting and simplify your planning and consolidation. Of course, when I say planning and consolidation, I talk about group reporting and SAP Analytics Cloud on top of S/4HANA. Just a market view before we get into technical detail. This came from SAP itself. And if you see from out of Fortune 500 global companies, so many companies are already moving or move towards central finance. So this defines the scope of CFIN in the market. And we generally call it CFIN. So if I say CFIN, it is central finance. It's part of the S/4HANA itself. Now I will explain the architecture. So it's always confusing when people say, some say simple finance, some say central finance. It's always confusing. The simple architecture of central finance implementation is on the left hand side. If you see, you have ECC system, you have any non-SAP system, and you can have n number of systems. I've seen organizations with 30 SAP systems. I have seen organizations with 2 SAP systems. Some have a combination, SAP plus Oracle plus JD Edwards, and some have more critical combination. What CFIN says, and that's how the transformation starts. You implement fresh, brand new S/4HANA. You start transformation. You start replicating your documents from ECC systems or from non-SAP system to S/4HANA system. And then at the end, all your accounting will be at one place. So when your accounting is centralized, you can centralize your accounting operations, which includes your payments, which includes your receipts, which includes your reporting, which includes your tax filings, and especially in case of service, where most of the organizations have shared service scenario, it is more simple and more easy. It's purely a technical architecture, so people from technology can understand this. If you see on the left, we have FI and CO document stored in in traditional tables, BKPF, BSEC, COEP, and COBK. Via SLT, we transform that document into its real time almost. We transform them into S/4HANA. Via business mappings, we change the objects, and I will explain mappings in few minutes. And when the objects are changed with the new design, with the new universal data model or the global data model, you say, based on that, you do, if there are any errors, you do error handling, and at the end, all your data will be posted into your AC Docker table, which is standard SAP S/4HANA feature. Of course, it's an extensive table, which includes your FICO in the new world. That's the best of all world, which SAP says. So you can see, you bring all your accounting data from your traditional systems, you bring it into S/4HANA AC Docker table without disrupting your current business operations. It's just real-time replicating from behind the scenes. Now question comes, what is replicated? What all things are replicated from ECC, and what are the limitations which I cannot replicate? So you can replicate your accounting documents. You can replicate your project system and WBS master data. You can replicate your cost objects, which includes internal orders, process order, and service orders. You can replicate your controlling documents, which is CO secondary documents like assessment or distribution one. You replicate your profit center accounting document, which are being created in source system. And also you can replicate your activity rates plus material cost estimate. So till 1909 release, and S/4HANA and Central Finance follows the same release model as S/4HANA. It's 1909, latest one, and 2020 is upcoming. So till last release, these are the standard interfaces which SAP has provided. So any of these objects in your source system can be easily, in a standard way, replicable to your S/4HANA system. You create a WBS in ECC, it will be replicated into S4. You create your internal order in ECC, it will be replicated to S4 and also mapped. It's not just it comes as object, rather it also gets added into the mapping as well. So these are the areas which get created. Now I'll talk about mappings. So mappings are very important. Mappings basically transform your whole of your data set into the new one. When we say new one, you might be changing the processes, or you might be redefining your data models. You might be redefining your data structures for future strategic reporting. So, and mappings are very important and are key objects of CFIN, any CFIN project. This is where the whole implementation and the design run around. So when we say mappings, your configurable objects plus your master data object needs to be mapped. For example, there is a company code in ECC, let's say 1000. You have to create a company code in S/4HANA. You might change it to ABCD, or you might change it to US01, but it has to be mapped to some company code in ECC, so that any data posted in ECC in company code 1000 will read it automatically that it has to go to US01. And similarly, you have to map your cost centers, profit centers, whatever you say, GL account, and your payment terms, your customers, vendors, all the data have to be mapped. And if you see on the screen, SAP has given a very simple standard interface. You select the mapping entity, which can be, let's say, vendor number. Then you select which source system, because on source side, you can have n number of systems. So the vendor number might be same, but by system, the nature will change. And then you can say, okay, I want to display the mapping, I want to generate template, I want to upload, or I want to download, or I want to delete. This was not present in the past releases. So we used to have custom program, but this is a very nice a CSV interface. You just update the CSV file and upload it. And if you want to delete something, you update in CSV file and upload it. And you say delete mappings. It's a test run, and then you delete in the actual run. So mappings are simple. You put your data, you talk to your business, you put your data in Excel, and you upload in the mapping file. And that's how any data, any accounting documents or any CO document being posted on ECC side on particular object will automatically read the mapping and will be posted into S/4HANA system and will go into your new data model. Data reconciliation. This is a very important point for accounting community, because technically we can say, okay, I move my 100,000 document from ECC to S4, but is my data reconciled? Do I have numbers in balance? Is my $1,000 in ECC is matching to $1,000 in S4? So that's because finance organization will look for this. For them, technology is less relevant rather than accounting. So standard SAP has given these. When you load your data from ECC to S4, there are standard reports which generally work, which are, you can compare your FI header documents, you can compare your FI line items, you can compare your CO documents headers, line item, and at the balance level. You give the filter, you say, okay, for particular source system, for particular company code, I want to see what is my situation. And then once you see that, it will give you, okay, in source system, we have this number of document. In CFIN, we have this number of documents, and X number is an error, for example, it's not there. And then once you drill down, you will see all the details. If you see at the bottom part of the screen, source document number, which fiscal year, what company code, what logical system, what is the GL account, what is the currency, what is the value, what is the line number. Every detail is given. So this report is, and this report now is available in Fiori as well. So for business community, it is very relevant, because when we say Central Finance, okay, we are going live, or we have completed the process, and please guys, you run the reconciliation. So they don't need to do the table downloads or Excel and just compare it in a traditional way. They can simply run the standard reports, and they compare in particular source system, particular company code, what is my balance in a GL, what is my balance on the S4 side. So it's a standard process. And of course, more details, company level or a design if the design is different, then of course, that can be customized. And customers have done the customization in these reports itself to provide more granular level of detail. So this is from finance community perspective, and this is an example. So there is a document posted in S/4HANA system, and when you see the document number, and at the header level, you will see what is my sender system, what is my sender document number, which is posted in ECC. So here, if you see the document number 100038 is ECC Central CFIN document or S4HANA document. However, the document number here at this box on the right hand side, it's 33129. This is my document number from ECC. So within S4, I am able to see what is my document number from ECC, which system it is coming from. If you have multiple systems on source, what company code it is sending, what fiscal year it is. And then I can double click simply on this sender document number, and I can drill down into ECC. It's standard via RFC connections, simply SAP drill down into S4, into ECC system. So you don't need to even need to have authorizations or a user in that system. It directly just give you that screen, that the view of 33129 document number. So that's how technically it works. you have a document number posted in S4, you want to see what is my document number in ECC, you can drill down, click, and go back and see what is the document. So that updated at a header level. Now, a little bit about configuration. It requires some configuration on ECC side, and it requires a lot of configuration on S4 side. So if you see the CFIN IMG is the transaction code. Of course, you can go through SPRO. Everybody knows that. However, in CFIN IMG is a shortcut. You can go to CFIN IMG. You will see two nodes under Central Finance. You will see source system settings, and you will see target system settings. In source system settings, you will see some replication settings, central payment, which I will explain what it is. And then on target system settings, you will see all the setups related to system setups, how to set up mappings, clearing transfer, configuration consistency check, initial load, all those replication for profit center, cost estimate, activity rate. So all your configuration is driven from this particular part. And before I move to from next part, just want to explain you an initial load. Initial load is something, if you are going live, for example, in currently today it's 2nd October, and you want to decide that, okay, from 1st October, I want to go live. And I want to have my all document from ECC system replicated real time to S4. But at the same time, I want my past data from January 2020 till September 2020 in my S4 system for reporting purpose. So then you can do the initial load. You can bring all balances, and you can bring all open items from the past. You can bring into CFIN side, and that's how standard SAP brings. That process is known as initial load. So with initial load, SAP brings all your open item so that you can run your future reports from S4 system. It's a lengthy process because the volume of data, it depends by organization, but it's a standard way. And then once your initial load is complete, is reconciled, business sign off, then you say my load is complete. And from this morning, I start my real-time replication, and any document being posted in ECC immediately start automatically coming to S4. So now you have the past history, all open items, and now you have the new data as well. So with SLT technology and with this standard process, you will have one central system with all the data of accounting data, which is being sitting in different source system in different table format with different customizations or even non-SAP data. So something about central payment. This is very, very nice feature and being introduced pretty long back now. And with this is especially designed to run the processes out of central finance system. So what used to happen is, if you see first part, you are just bringing your data from ECC system to S4 system. But the point is, what should I do with that data? Today I have 10 ECC systems. I bring all the data into one. Now what next? So that answers the question that now, since all your open items in your S4 system, AR, AP, then why not to centralize the process? You have 10 systems connected to 10 different banks in different file format. You use one bank, for example. Then you have a shared service scenario. Cloud platform SAP apps can be connected. So what it works is, to run your logistics process in ECC, if you see the business process scenario for procure to pay, you have purchase requisition, you have purchase order, you have good receipt, and accounting documents are being transferred into central finance system. So now when the invoice receipt happen, invoice is replicated to S4, it will be closed automatically as a cleared item in ECC so that nobody can even pay by mistake. And in S4 system, it is open for payment. So now if the invoices are coming from 10 ECC systems, rather than you make the payment run every week 10 times from 10 different systems, you can make it once a week from one system. You pay all the vendors in one shot. So that simplifies your process, standardize your process from payment perspective. You can have a same people working on processes. You reduce less, the complexity in terms of skill set, that one person is making payment on Oracle, another on BAN, and another on SAP. So you standardize your payment process. And exactly it works in the same of for incoming payments. And you have incoming payment, it also works exactly same. Like, you do the billing document is transferred, it's cleared in ECC, and then you make the payment, you receive the payment in your S4 system. So once you activate this central payment, your system of records is now S4 system. Because if you want to run your AP and AR reports from ECC, it will just show cleared. Everything is cleared because now all the open items are in S4. And then you use the SAP HANA technology with, of course, on top of that, the new Fiori apps and the functionalities on top of S4 HANA. And then you start making S4 as a system of record where you make the payment, you transact actually. And other than central payment, you also have like, credit card scenario, down payment scenario, credit collection, dispute management, all those features, if you see on the screen, all those features can be standardized and can be done from one system. So that's how it makes a journey simple. Rather than re-implement processes from different system, you bring it into one. This makes your finance transformation, which is step number 1, which I shared in the first initial screen. And then step number 2 is, of course, once your finance is centralized, on top of this, you can implement, organizations are implementing and have implemented group reporting, analytics cloud, so that now, since all your data is in one system, you can simplify your consolidation process as well. And then in future, you start bringing your logistics process, and that's how your step number 1, and then your step number 2, which is the bigger journey, which should be in line with the SAP approach, where SAP is running out of support from ECC. It's changing, but yeah, for now they have a deadline. So of course, that's why most of the organizations are running the transformation programs, and that's where central finance comes into picture, where you don't disrupt everything what is going, rather you disrupt, you go slowly and gradually, and then you turn. Plus, you also get away or get rid of all the customizations or the depth you have already carried over so many years, which you don't even think is useful. So in summary, I would say, central finance, as I explained, is a stepping stone only. Of course, it can be an end state as well, because companies keep on running into mergers and acquisitions. But it's a start of the transformation journey, and there are several careful decisions needs to be taken. So when I say careful decisions, this is related to your master data governance. It is related to your processes. It is related to how the organization works. Is it a shared service or is it a decentralized organization? And that's how you define your architecture. And that architecture the design will change based on how the organization is set up, or how you want to go ahead with that. Of course, any questions you have on the screen. You can see my contact details. And also this slide deck will be available to you via SIT Barcelona website and the wiki as well very soon. Any questions you have for me? I'm happy to take questions now.
Nitin?
Yeah.
We are collecting them through the chat, but it seems that I don't know if that David have someone on the mail.
Not at the moment. There are no questions, so we have
no question. And it's better, Nitin, that I don't make any question because I have too much from the finance part.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much for giving your time. Appreciate, and have a nice further sessions, and stay safe. Thank you.
You're welcome, Nitin. Thank you very much.
Bye.